We definitely have a lot to talk about after that episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Geek Blend. I'm Jeff and welcome to our final Mandalorian Season 2 review because this is the finale. Chapter 16, The Rescue. This is the one where Mandalorian puts his team together, just like last year, and goes and rescues the child. So basically it's a very similar plot even though he already had the child last year. He didn't have to rescue him. He had to protect him. Had to get the team to help protect the child. This time they have to rescue the child. But it's very, very similar story structure from last season. The episode was decent. There's some things I liked about it, some things I really hated about it. It was very poorly acted. There were some really good things about it, but there were some really bad things about it as well. Just overall, kind of a mess, to be honest. And like I said in previous reviews, I am breaking down the entire season in like 3, maybe 4 parts. It'll be much longer videos, much more in-depth, kind of like essay style. And this is something I've wanted to do for a while with something. And now I actually have time to write these scripts. And that's what I've been doing lately. That's why the videos on the channel have been a little bit scarce, besides the holidays and other stuff getting in the way. And I've had some health issues, but there are things coming. Those will probably not be released until after the first of the year. I'm going to try to get at least the first part out by right at the end, right at the beginning of the new year. So keep an eye out for that. But back to this episode. Before we get into it, massive, massive, massive spoilers ahead. So if you have not seen the episode, please stop this, go watch it, come back. Because there's some massive, major things that happen in this episode. So I did not like all the women power things that happened in the episode. I did not like the fact that Boba Fett got his ass kicked by the teenage Mandalorian. I know that she might have more experience, but he's got a lot of experience as well. Just remember, he has been with Jango since the beginning, learning all of his fighting techniques, all of his styles. He's been in the bounty hunter for a very, very, very long time. I guarantee you he would have kicked the shit out of her, no problem. But they had to have the woman take advantage and get on top. That's just how it works with Disney Star Wars. If you're a fan of Disney Star Wars, that's fine. If you've accepted it, that's fine. We know that's where their agenda lies, so I just accept it and move on. I don't like it at all. It just seems like no matter what happens, characters we love just get cucked or undermined by women characters because that's how it works in Star Wars now. But anyway, moving forward past that, basically they kidnapped Dr. Pershing. They use him to get on Moff Gideon's light cruiser. They use the Imperial Shuttle they stolen to get on there. Bo-Katan makes Mandalorian promise her that he will help her get the Darksaber, and then he will help her take back Mandalore. So he says, whatever you want, as long as you help me get the child. So they break into the ship. The TIE fighters come out of the docking bay after the Slave One, because they come out of hyperspace in their little stolen Imperial Shuttle. Boba Fett's behind them, pretending he's shooting at them, so they can go dock on the ship. But Moff Gideon's cruiser is not letting them dock. He launches TIE fighters first and says, do not dock. We're going to send out TIE fighters first. So they go out after Boba Fett. Slave One does some cool stuff to shoot him from behind. Really cool looking shots. And some of the space shots with the TIE fighters and the docking bay and the exterior shots with the Slave One flying around with the space battle thing was kind of cool. So that was nice to see. Then they fly the Imperial Shuttle into the docking bay. Even though TIE fighters are still coming out of it, they have to stop the TIE fighters in the hangar bay. And they fly in, they scrape and slide into the hangar bay. They come out blasting, of course. They just blast stormtroopers all over the place because stormtroopers don't do anything anymore. They're just cannon fodder to be killed all the time. I know that happened a lot in the original trilogy. That's cool. But sometimes they're efficient in this series. Sometimes they're not. It's more about what the plot needs them to do. I'd rather them keep them consistent. But we know that Disney Star Wars can't even keep their own canon consistent. So I did not expect that to happen. But anyway, one thing I didn't like was the fact that they mentioned the word guns instead of blasters. Also, Cara Dune's gun blaster got jammed. I know that they're saying they're getting jammed so we the audience knows what's happening. Like if we have a gun that gets jammed, we know what that is. They don't have to use that terminology. They just say it stopped working because this thing has no moving parts. So why would it get jammed? It just didn't make any sense. A little bit off-putting there. Bad acting in this episode, not great. Giancarlo Esposito, one of the best actors on the show, and his acting in this was just not good. Most of them weren't good. Katie Sackhoff's was very, very, very wooden. A lot of very wooden and stale performances in the show. We know some of them are good actors, just not great. The fight between Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian with the Darksaber and the Beskar Spear. Lucky he got that Beskar Spear, am I right? Yep. That was kind of underwhelming. He gets the Darksaber. He takes Moff Gideon up to the bridge where Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, The lame Mandalorian and Bo-Katan have taken the bridge and taken everybody out. Mandalorian has taken the Darksaber because he defeated Moff Gideon. We know in the lore that you have to win the Darksaber in combat to take it. So now Moff Gideon is telling the Mandalorian, she can't take it from you, dude. She's going to have to fight you for it. Okay? Really quickly, early on in the episode, they talked about the Dark Troopers. We learned that they have to be powered up for like 30 minutes or some shit like that before they can even work. Don't you remember that scene that one time in A New Hope and when R2-D2 and C-3PO had to stop in the middle of what they were doing and power up? Me neither. It's explained by Dr. Pershing that they cannot keep them powered up because it uses all their power. All right. Okay. But that's very, very convenient. Mandalorian fights one. It is very, very difficult to beat. The only way he kills it is by taking the Beskar spear and putting it through its neck and tearing its head off. He blasts the other ones out of the airlock. Back to the bridge. All of our heroes are back together, and Moff Gideon's explaining that Bo-Katan has to fight the Mandalorian. He's like, I yield, just take it. She's like, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Then they see what looks to be ships on the radar coming in and the closing on the ship. It is the Dark Troopers that he shot out the airlock. They're droids. They're not going to die in space. They're going to come right back in. We know they have jetpacks or boosters on their feet because they flew down to get the child and they flew back up. So they're right back in. Now they're going to be overwhelmed by all these dark troopers, and Moff Gideon reminds us that the Mandalorian had trouble with one of them. One of them. And now they have to fight all of them. And Moff Gideon looks at Bo-Katan, and Mandalorian looks like this fight is going to be, have to happen another time. So we don't get to see their fight yet. That'll be, I'm guessing, season 3. So they're all like freaking out. The Dark Troopers come to the door. They're trying to beat the door down. A single X-Wing comes into frame, flies into the hangar. They hail it. It does not respond. And as soon as I saw the X-Wing, I knew exactly who it was. It was Luke fucking Skywalker. Yes, Luke Skywalker gets out of the X-Wing, goes through the entire ship, takes out every single Dark Trooper with his lightsaber, with the Force, and crushes one completely, goes in. We see it as a de-aged Mark Hamill from what it looks like. If you've seen Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man, you've seen Michael Douglas, some other characters de-aged, and for the scenes in the beginning of those movies and some other films. So they did a pretty decent job, to be honest with you. It didn't have the uncanny valley effect like the Leia and the Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. It looked much better. You could definitely tell there were lines pulled from specific movies. Like some of the lines that Luke Skywalker said, you're like, oh, I remember that line from this movie. I remember that line from this movie, because they were just pulling lines to make it sound like young Luke again. I'm sure there were some new lines recorded and audio processing on the voice to make him sound younger, but it looked like a de-aged Mark Hamill to me. To be honest, I kind of am looking forward to any kind of behind-the-scenes thing they're going to be doing, like they did for the gallery or whatever they did for Mandalorian Season 1 for Season 2, so they can talk about how they did this scene, because I would really like to know, and I really like to see the behind-the-scenes, the special effects on this one to see exactly what they did, but it really, really did look like de-aging. But anyway, Luke Skywalker is here to take Grogu, because we are guessing that on the Seeing Stone, on the planet Tython, that Baby Yoda had a conversation or reached out in the Force, and Luke Skywalker responded. I've said this before. I said at the beginning of the season. I said it last year before the season was out, that Luke Skywalker will be here. He has to appear. He has to take Grogu. It has to happen. And it did. I have very mixed feelings about this. I don't know how I feel 100%. It was really cool seeing Luke actually fight and not pout and go away like, shitty, pouty Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. On one hand, it's awesome to see Mark Hamill come back and be portrayed as Luke Skywalker in this light versus what happened to him the last time he came back as Luke Skywalker, and his character was absolutely destroyed in The Last Jedi. So I'm happy for Mark Hamill that he got to do this, because he is credited in the credits, so he was part of this. And to see this character come back in this way, I'm sure he's over the moon about it. Seeing this also makes me wonder if the rumors we've heard about them decanonizing the sequel trilogy and putting it into an alternate timeline are true. The fact that Grogu is now going to Luke Skywalker, Grogu would have been in the temple when Kylo Ren burnt the damn thing to the ground, which means Grogu is either dead, or Kylo Ren stole him, or Luke Skywalker sent him somewhere else. We don't know. But a part of me thinks they're going to be decanonizing or alternate timelining the sequel trilogy. I'll talk more about that in my video when I talk about all the Star Wars announcements. I haven't made a video on that yet, but I am going to make one because I have some thoughts on how they're going to do that and why Kathleen Kennedy is staying around. But again, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. The Luke Skywalker thing has me like super confused. I'm really excited to see him on the one hand. On the other hand, this is Disney Star Wars. I've seen what they do with Luke Skywalker, so it terrifies me. Like it really, really does. The episode was okay. Not one of the better ones of the season. It was just a very like paint by numbers finale, like team rescue mission kind of thing. Stormtrooper cannon fodder, weak dialogue, weak acting in my opinion in this one, weak battle. I was expecting a lot more from the Moff Gideon Mandalorian fight. They should have split this into 2 episodes, to be honest with you. They really should have. And we had to have that stupid ass filler with the frog lady in the hot tub on the ice planet, which made no damn sense. If we didn't have that episode, you could have had a 2-parter finale, because that episode was absolutely worthless and didn't need to be in this season. I'm going to do a lot more about this episode. Like I said, very, very conflicted on my feelings about this. On one hand, I love to see Luke Skywalker. On the other hand, I know it's Disney Star Wars, and it terrifies me that they're bringing him back, and they're actually going to be using him for stuff, possibly going forward. I will also say, stick around after the credits, because there is an end credit scene. Okay? There is. I'm going to spoil it in just a second. I'm going to count you down. Okay? I'm going to spoil this end credit scene in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. After the credits are over, we see Fennec Shand, Boba Fett go into Jabba's palace. Bib Fortuna is on the throne, all fattened up. He gets taken out by Boba Fett after Fennec Shand clears all the other grunts. Boba Fett takes the throne in Jabba's palace. Fennec Shand leads against the throne, drinking on some scissor. Next to him, hanging out, we get a glimpse of the screen, and it says, "The Book of Boba Fett, coming December 2021. So in 1 year from now, we're going to be getting a Boba Fett limited series. But that was my review for Chapter 16, The Rescue, the finale of the Mandalorian Season 2. Very confusing thoughts in my mind right now. I'm going to have to process it a lot more. Once we get to those breakdowns, the finale might be its own breakdown on a video by itself. We'll see. I have a lot to talk about this, and I have a lot more to process about this. But overall, the episode was pretty weak, except for the ending. Bad acting, bad dialogue, just all around kind of a mess. But what did you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the spoiler that happened at the end, the character we saw that we all thought was going to happen, and it did. I would love to hear from you guys. Leave a like on the video. It does help us out. Subscribe if you're new and you want to see some more. Hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on every video we drop here on the Geek Blend. Don't forget, it is Friday morning. Well, yes, it is Friday morning, so we'll be on Raging Rhino's channel this morning for Casual Rage, talking about the Mandalorian, and we will be talking a lot. I'm sure we will be going for a little while over there, because there's a lot to say about this episode, so come check it out. Link to Raging Rhino's channel in the description below, so come check it out. Also in the description below, you'll find links to social media, Discord, and all the ways you guys can support the channel. You can do Patreon, you can do Subscribestar, you can also become a member to the channel. You will get custom emojis, loyalty badges next to your name if you leave a comment, or in live stream chats as well. Also, you will get behind-the-scenes videos from me on the community tab here on YouTube. If you guys want to see some of that stuff and have all that extra stuff for live streams and chats and comments, become a member today. I really appreciate it. I want to say thank you to all of my current channel supporters, members, patrons, subscribe stars, all of you guys. Thank you very much for your support. It really means a lot. I'm Jeff. This is the Geek Blend. Remember, if you geek about it, we speak about it. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.